Thank you so much for taking the time to be on the call tonight. It is Tuesday night. I was sharing a little bit earlier. I now officially Tuesday night at 8 o'clock is my favorite night of the week. These testimonies we were just talking never ever get old. They are just so encouraging. And what I love is there's two things that everyone when they share their testimony started off with. Number one is they said yes, right? They said yes, they started on the products. And number two is they were consistent with the product. So that is something that is the same, right? But what's different is every story. Every story is so different. So I'm so excited to introduce to you tonight. We have three of our friends sharing tonight. But the first friend that is going to be sharing is actually why we're all here. It all started with this beautiful woman. And if you know her, you know she is I'm going to try to do this without crying, one of the most humble women that I have ever met in my life. She is fully transparent. She loves God. She loves her family, and she loves others well. And so I'm so excited to turn it over to our beautiful Jenna Smith. She is a diamond in our company. She is one of our diamonds, and she shared with Jenna Hatula. Okay. And so this is a ripple effect. We talk about it all of the time. This is what happens. If Jenna never shared with Jenna Hatula, none of us would be here tonight on this call, right? So, Jenna, thank you so much for sharing with us tonight. I'm so excited for you guys to hear her story. Take it away, my friend.
Oh my goodness. Well, thank you so much for that sweet introduction. You're going to make me emotional there, hearing your sweet words. I love you.
Love you.
So yes, I am so honored to get to share a bit of my testimony and how I even got involved with Plexus in the first place. So my journey started 6 years ago last month. I started the products after following my friend who coincidentally I met on Instagram. She at the time was living in California. She was pregnant with her seventh baby when she started sharing about these gut health supplements. And I just remember seeing her journey through her pregnancy, and she was feeling amazing. She was energetic. She made it her goal to swim 100 miles before the delivery of her seventh baby. And she just shared how different this pregnancy was and how these products had helped her in huge ways and her whole entire family. So I watched, and I was very intrigued. But you guys, it took me years and years to get over my skepticism, to say yes to trying these products. And ultimately, it took me hitting a place in my life where I truly hit rock bottom. I had struggled for years with typical mom things, exhaustion, brain fog, feeling like I couldn't carry an intelligent conversation with people just because like the words wouldn't come to me. I just had that cloudy mind all the time, sleep issues, irritability. I felt like I was always on the edge. And as a homeschool mom of a lot of kids, and that can be stressful, yes, but I just felt like I was always too irritable with them, and I would snap over just little things of them being a child, and I knew like something was going on internally, like I was feeling off. And so after following her journey for years, I found myself pregnant with baby number 6, and my pregnancy didn't look like my friend Bridget's. I was not super active. I was not feeling my best. I was even more tired, more irritable. Found myself in bed a lot. And so ultimately I pushed through. And after that baby was born, my anxiety skyrocketed. And that is when I hit my rock bottom. It's when I had to seek help. And I was told I needed prescription medication. And I'm a believer, like there's a time and place for prescription medication, but I also believe that God has given us plants that heal our bodies and sustain our health. And so I had picked up enough pieces of what Bridget had shared through the years to know more about gut health and how important it is for pretty much every aspect of our whole entire health and mental health as well. And I knew there was something to that gut brain connection. So I reached out to her and kind of opened up and shared vulnerably, with what I was feeling and experiencing. And ultimately, it was not my wish to be put on prescription medication that I knew was just going to basically band-aid my symptoms. I wanted to truly try and heal myself. I was still young. I had 6 young children, and I was ready to be the healthy, happy mom that I knew my kids needed. And my husband needed me to be that healthy, happy wife too. So I started the product 6 years ago. I had little expectations, you guys. I was so skeptical, even though I knew that the products were, backed by science. They were heavily researched. They, they had it all. They had the really high quality ingredients, plant-based, but I still was just skeptical. How is this really going to help me in the ways that I needed it to? So anyway, my story, these products changed my life, not only just in anxiety, but so many other things that I wasn't expecting. I started seeing improving in my health. And I was not ever planning on sharing. I had told Bridget when I started, I'm so excited for you that you've turned this into a business and you've helped so many people. But that's truly just not something I would ever be interested in. I just want the products. But I'm grateful that, in life, we're allowed to change our minds. In life, we're allowed to have open our hearts to something new, something different. So about 5 months into using these products, and at that point, like, I was a lifer. I had told, just a few really close people in my circle that, I was doing these gut health supplements, and it was radically changing my life, and my husband's too. He has a huge testimony with allergies and eczema, life changing. So at that point, I knew I didn't want to ever go back to life before Plexus. But the reality is we were at a place in life at that point where we were struggling financially immensely, behind in our mortgage by many, many months, barely getting by. And so I actually got on the phone with Bridget, who shared Plexus with me, and we were chatting about motherhood and homeschooling and how things were going on the products. And I told her, I said, I cannot imagine ever going back to life as it was before. But the reality is I might have to take a break for a little bit, because right now I just have to focus on keeping a roof over my children's head. I've been a stay-at-home mom for 23 years now, but at the time of starting to share Plexus, it had been about 18, I think. And I hadn't made a dime to contribute to my family's finances. Um, so for me to do something like this was something totally new. To step out in faith and put my story out there on social media was honestly scary for me and my personality. I'm definitely more on the shy side, introverted. I kind of like to live my private life, and I'm sure many of you can relate to that. But ultimately, I had to make a decision. Was I going to watch my family struggle financially and most likely have to leave our home behind? And this is the home my babies were born in, we homeschooled in, we homesteaded in, and that was a huge part, and it still is a huge part of our lifestyle. My kids love raising animals, so I had to choose my heart. Was my heart going to be telling the kids, we can't afford this house right now and we're going to have to pack up and move? Or was my heart going to be, you know what, I'm going to do what I said I wasn't going to do. I'm going to step out and I'm going to share the products, and I'm going to help people by sharing the products. And as a result, it could save our home and then some. So that's the heart that I chose. I chose to put my story out there. And at first, my intention was just to get my products paid for so I didn't have to get off of them. And this was after talking to Bridget on that phone call and her coaxing me and just filling me with confidence and belief that I could do this. And really, it truly, at the end of the day, wasn't about me. I mean, yes, the blessings that could come into my life were huge and so worth me stepping out into faith. But really, it wasn't about me. It was about the people that God was leading me to help. So once I got that in my mind, I realized, like, I could do this. I love helping people. I love people in general. So why would I not want to do this? So, I made my first post. I started talking more about Plexus and my excitement and my story, and that ripple effect started to grow. And I got my products paid for. I was able to help get us caught up on our mortgage. We saved our home, and then the blessings of that, the financial blessings of the business just continued to grow and grow and grow to the point where I reached diamond, which is so humbling. Every single day I wake up, thanking the Lord for that gift, because it has given me and my family so much freedom to not have to stress about finances, and to think that, gosh, 5 years ago, our lives looked so much different and we thought we were potentially lose our home, and now we're very secure. We're building a home right now, living on a farm, and having much more options in life to say yes, and whatever that is that the Lord leads us to. We don't have to be constricted because of finances. So I'm so grateful for the products, and I'm certainly grateful for my team and the community that we have here. And this business has truly been such a blessing. So that's my story in a nutshell. I could go on and on. I just love what these products and this company do for families.
Amen. Thank you so much for sharing. It never, ever, like I said, gets old hearing your story. We not too long ago were able to go to where Jenna Smith lives and to see the house going up and all of the things. And so knowing the story and knowing what God has done, right? And he's not done yet, which is so cool, because you chose to do the hard. You chose to share. And again, none of us would be here if it weren't for you. So thank you so much, friend, for taking the time to share with us tonight. We love you.
Love you too. Thank you.
Of course. All right. I'm so excited for you guys to meet our next speaker tonight. Stacy Cooper is going to be sharing her story with us. So a couple of fun facts about Stacy. I had some fun facts for Jenna and I totally forgot to share them with you guys. So I'm sorry. But Stacy, she has a passion for wellness. She is a chiropractic care advocate, and faith and family are so near and dear to her heart. So, Stacy Cooper, I'm so excited to hear your story tonight, my friend. Take it away. Oh, you're on mute. It's coming. It's coming. Not yet. Okay, there you go.
Okay. Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining. I just want to say, if you're here, it's because somebody shared and cared enough to invite you to this call to hear me give my testimony. And I never used to feel, because I didn't have weight loss, like my testimony was ever anything that anybody would relate to. But God showed me different. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about my testimony. I started the products, excuse me, I'm having a choking effect. Anyway, I started back in November of 21, a month before I was going in for a hip replacement. I was in a bad car accident in May of 2000 and was rushed to the hospital for a closed right hip reduction. And my hip was never the same. I had chronic pain, which turned into arthritis, which turned into fibromyalgia, which turned into just pain everywhere in my carpal tunnel. I just had it in every direction. I didn't want to get up and get out of bed. Just getting up to go to work was a true struggle. So after the surgery, my first week post-op appointment, I went for physical therapy. And after they moved me around and put heat on me, my hip dislocated. So from my groin to my toe, my leg swelled up immensely, and I was only on just regular dose of ease, but I changed to the loading dose, and within 24 hours of them putting my hip back in place and the loading dose of ease, the swelling was completely gone. So I was a big believer in the products. I started with the triplex and the ease, And then I've just added more products now. The nerve helps my carpal tunnel. I made the mistake of running out one time, and within 24 hours of not having it, I couldn't even make a fist. My knuckles started hurting. My carpal tunnel pain was back. So I quickly borrowed a bottle and returned it when my order came in. Never can I make that mistake again. Before Plexus, I'd been working with a kinesiologist, and I learned about what gut health was and how to get rid of it. And I had this 10-page thing. It's an antifungal. And I was no sugar, no dairy, no gluten, no fruit, nothing fermented. Like, the list goes on and on. Like I said, it's a 10-page booklet, and I was just looking over it and so thankful that Plexus has such an easy system. After a year and a half, I gave up on that. I got rid of Candida in 3 months, but it was just too much. I had too many restrictions. With Plexus, you can just not do anything different. Just get these supplements in your body, and they work so many wonders for me. I now have zero pain, and I love Plexus, and I share because the people that have joined me, that joined me almost 3 years ago, are still on these products today, thriving. Mental health issues have been helped. Fibro has been helped. MS, my sister's on this call right now, and she had 4 hospitalizations each year before Plexus, and now no hospitalizations. So to me, that's huge. And I love you, and I thank you for trusting me. And then I got my bestie on here too. Her transformation has been absolutely incredible. I just want to cry when I look at all the women that said yes, that trusted me, and where they are today. It's absolutely incredible. This has not only paid for my products, I'm a senior Ruby ambassador, by the way. Plexus not only pays for my products, but it helps pay my credit cards and the groceries, which are 3 times the amount of what they used to be. So my goal is to just continue to share and to help people realize that they don't have to feel the way they were. There's more to life than feeling that way. I've gotten a community of you amazing ladies that I just adore. I never would know half of you if it wasn't for me saying yes to the pink drink. And I feel like I'm so much better in my 50s than I was in my 20s, 30s, and 40s, and I have no pain. If you would have told me after 21 years of chronic pain that I would be in no pain, I would probably tell you you're full of it. But I'm here to tell you that there's no pain. These products are incredible. The business opportunity, which happened by accident because I didn't want any part of the business when I joined. I told Margot gut health, and that's it. You know, I'd been around for the MLMs, and I knew that that wasn't for me. But quickly I realized from the CEOs, just everybody in corporate, that Plexus was different. I had the opportunity to go to a convention in, where were we? The Boots, Nashville. And then I went on the cruise, and then I went to Punta Cana. So this has been like a dream come true for me, paying for trips that I would have never been able to take had it not have been for Plexus, you know, and they reward you for just getting healthy and sharing. So the community, the business, and just my health and happiness is priceless. Thank you for letting me share, you guys.
Amen. I love every bit of it. Like you guys heard, she started, but she had never had an intention to share the business, right? That's what has happened. That's what we hear every week. This is the 4th week that we've been doing Testimony Tuesdays, and we're hearing it over and over again. When you find something that truly changes your life, you can't help but share unapologetically, because you know that you have something that could help so many. So that's my favorite part of these calls, is hearing these testimonies and how life-changing they are. We never know the person that is laying awake at night praying for something. They are praying for a lifeline. And what if Plexus is that? And it has been for so many. So Stacey, thank you so much, friend, for sharing your story. Love you. All right, you guys, I'm so excited. Really quick, before I introduce our next speaker, if you'll drop down in the comments a couple of things. Number one, who invited you to tonight's call? Drop their name down below and then share some wins. I know Stacy was sharing some wins below, but if you've already gotten started on the product, we want to celebrate with you. We want to hear those wins. So if you'll drop those in the comments, whatever it is, we're celebrating all of the things. So drop your wins in the comments, and then who invited you to tonight's call, drop that as well. So I'm so excited to share our next speaker. Our last speaker for tonight is Dawn. Dawn, actually, me and Dawn met through a mutual friend of ours, Marion Robb. And I love that about this company, about Plexus, is I would have never met Dawn if it weren't for Marion. And again, the ripple effect, right? We are one Plexus. So I'm so excited that Dawn's on the call tonight to share her story. So I've got some fun facts for Dawn. She is married to her forever hubby of 22 years. They have two beautiful daughters who keep her very busy. I totally get that. I don't have daughters, but boys. She loves everything sun and water, and one day wants to have a house on the beach. Me too, friend. And then she loves taking photos, jumping in the air, and it's her signature move, you guys. So I'm so excited for you to hear Dawn's story tonight. Friend, take it away.
Well, thank you so much, Karen, for having me on the call tonight and just being able to share my testimony. So I started in 2020, but man, I was one of those people that needed a lot of conversations before I was ready to get started. But I don't know why, because I was really sick. I started actually Plexus a few days after I had my entire thyroid removed because I had cancer. But my friend Marion, she was so kind and gracious with me for so long and talked to me about Plexus for so long. But I was one of those people who had done probiotics for years prior. And so I didn't understand why I needed to take her probiotics. But she kept posting about all this stuff, like she was getting energy and she was getting like this and that. And it just piqued the curiosity because I was like, my probiotics don't do that. But I thought I knew all the things that there were to know. I was pretty crunchy. I had done a lot of natural things, made my own deodorant, made my own lotion, shampoo, all the things, I had gotten rid of toxins out of my house. But I knew that I was sick. I had cancer, right? And so I said, okay, I'll jump in. Prior to the thyroid cancer, I had my gallbladder removed. Prior to that, I had my appendix removed. I was just losing organs all over the place. And I was sick and I was desperate for something to change. And I knew that gut health was important, but I thought I was doing it with the probiotics I was taking. Obviously, that wasn't really doing anything. I think when you have cancer, it wakes you up to start taking more serious care of your health. I think oftentimes we reach a certain age and we can think that's just what life is. Like this is just being a mom. Like you're tired all the time. You have to take naps all the time. You have, or you're moody or irritable or whatever. I didn't really have any concept or understanding that that was part of gut health. And so within a couple of weeks, my digestion changed, which was huge for me because I was one of those chronic constipation. I definitely struggled with that and didn't realize that that could be better. And so that was life-changing for me. And then a few weeks after that, my energy started to change. And my endocrinologist started to wonder a little bit because his patients don't have energy after their thyroid has been completely removed. And so he was very curious about what I was doing. But then my mood started to change. And I always felt like I was one of those people who would struggle with seasonal kind of definitely when like the fall hit and winter hit, I was definitely more depressed and just struggled a lot more with my mood. But I started in February of 2020. So by you know, really by the spring of that year, my mood started to improve, and I was like, what's going on? I'm have energy, my mood's improving, and I can go to the bathroom. But I also like I was still doing cancer, like I still was going through cancer treatments. And so my journey, and I was only on the triplex for the entire first year. I'm a big believer in the triplex, because at the core, the triplex alone has changed my life. And so, but then some really other fun things started to happen where I started to lose weight. I've lost 40 pounds, kept that off. But then I also like just had other things happen. Like I remember Jenna telling me like, um, John, just keep up with your supplements, because she knew that we wanted to get a cat in our house. My kids always wanted a pet, but I was always so allergic to them. And she's like, just keep up with your supplements, Don. I'm telling you. Because, obviously if you know her story with Josh and his testimony with animals, so anyways, I just couldn't believe that we were able to get a cat, and I wasn't sneezing all the time. I used to be somebody who like could walk into a house and know whether or not someone had animals, because it was a struggle for me. But that changed. And then other things have changed as well. I have celiacs too. It's another thing I didn't really tell you guys about. That's been for a long time, for about 15 years. But my allergies, like my gluten allergy and my sensitivity has changed. In fact, we were on the cruise and I know I had gluten unintentionally, and I didn't get sick, which is, I mean, that never would have happened before. Never. So the quality of life has changed. Um, so I could go on and on and on about the testimonies, because that just continues. My health testimony is just layers upon layers upon layers. Um, but I don't think that's the biggest change. I think the biggest change is in me. Um, so when I started, she had tried for so long, just like she tried for me to get started with the product, she tried for me to share about the products. And I knew she was trying for a long time. I would tell my husband, like, Marion's trying to get me to share. I know she is. She's doing it this little like sneaky way, but I know she's trying to get me to share. I had done other MLMs before and I wanted no part. There was some hurt there and I didn't really want to jump into that. But when I finally gave in and said, yes, I'm going to share, because why wouldn't I want to, like just like Karen said, why wouldn't I want to share and tell people about this life change that has happened to me? When I started to share, it just kind of the spiral and ripple effect happened. But the thing that also changed is I changed. I became more confident. I started to dream again. Another part of this story is that my husband lost his job in 2021. We desperately needed the income. And I got a full-time job at the time and I was working, but we really needed more income. And when we stepped into that, I just was like, but also at the same time, I needed some things were going on at home and I needed to be at home. So I had to quit my full-time job and be at home. And I'm like, I'm just going to jump into Plexus and I'm just going to see what happens. And it kept just growing and growing and growing. And I'm sitting very close to Emerald. And it will happen. And I wouldn't have said that, like, I think probably 6 months ago, I don't know that I would have been able to confidently say, yes, I will be Emerald. But now it's just a matter of time. It's just a matter about my points catching up. And so the confidence has changed in me. And that's the part, the health is amazing. It really is. And we have such a gift to offer, but it really is a lot more about who we become. Like we change, we become more confident, we have hope, and we are able to give that hope to others so that they can dream, and make an impact in their own communities. And that has been the best blessing of all of it. So there you go. There's my testimony.
Oh my goodness, I was trying to find the unmute button. It was, oh, I couldn't find it. Dawn, thank you so much. So many pieces of your story that I had no idea. And you're so right. Like the whole the confidence and the personal development and the growth and the stepping into truly who God has created us to be it's unmatched. Everything else, yes, huge wins, but never discounting that. Thank you so much, friend, for sharing. So you guys heard 3 incredible stories from 3 beautiful women tonight, all different, right? Each story was so different. But the company, the motto is win, bless, be a blessing. And that is truly what this is all about, to be able to bless others in return with what you have found. So tonight, if you're on this call, it's because somebody loved you enough that they wanted you to come on to hear a little bit more of what is possible. And maybe you're sitting on here tonight and you're like, well, I don't know, but maybe there's a friend as you're hearing the stories that really came to mind. I want to encourage you, take the time and reach out to them. We're going to have this call available to you. So whoever invited you to tonight's call, ask them. We're going to have the recording, if not by the end of tonight, tomorrow morning, and we'll get that to you guys. And go ahead and reach out and say, hey, listen, I just got off of a call that was so encouraging and so inspiring, and I heard 3 testimonies, and friend, I was just thinking about you, and I wanted to share it with you. So I just encourage you, like I said, we never know the people that are our friends that are laying awake at night praying for answers, right? Praying for that lifeline. So if we can be that, let's just go and let's be a blessing to those in our life. So I encourage you to do that. Thank you again, ladies, Stacy, Dawn, and Jenna, for sharing tonight. And thank you to each of you for hopping on tonight's call. We so are appreciative of you for taking the time to be on tonight. We're going to be here, same place, same time, next Tuesday night at 8 o'clock. And I see 2 of my friends right here that are going to be sharing. Shelly and Jordan are going to be sharing next week along with someone else. And so we cannot wait to be on again next week. But take the time, use the testimonies that you heard tonight, and reach out to those that you love. Thank you, friends. We'll see you next week.